You serious? Come on now.
We're trying to make love here.
Man, let me tell you about this movie. Alright, so as you guys know, the Snyder Cut released 2 weeks back. I haven't been able to get the video to you guys quite yet because I had life. So, sorry. We're just going to quickly go into the quick introduction. This is Watch or Skip. This is on my shirt. This is on my page. This is on my Twitter. This is on my Instagram. This is on my Facebook. This might be on my LinkedIn. I don't know. But Watch or Skip movie reviews. This is where I talk about the movies I like, the movies I don't like, the movies that I want to talk about, some movies you might not have seen. And it's going to be a good time. So we're going to go right into this real quick. Wanted to give a couple of shout outs. First off, we got Red Dot on the shot. You already know, at Red Dot Tem. He's going to put his little Instagram at the bottom so you guys know where to follow him, where to look him up, where to look up some of the stuff that he's doing, some of the stuff that he's done. This man going to be shooting movies one day. Watch. And then we also got Capital Workspaces. I haven't been able to really put my room outfitted to be where I want to shoot these videos going forward because I know it'll be easier to do. But right now we're at Capital Workspaces. Right to my right, your left, is actually our space where we've been doing the first 2 seasons of Running with Scissors, which is the podcast that me and Evan do, which is a dark comedy podcast. It's a lot of fun. We talk about really, really dark stuff and some really funny stuff as well, and sometimes they all mix together. And then also shout out to you guys for subscribing. We're already at 10 subscribers. Yay. One day, hopefully it's 11. Boom. So let's go right into it. The Snyder Cut. You guys wanted to hear about it. You've been tweeting about it. This is the most tweeted about movie that never released. It literally broke the records. I have it written down. And for you guys that are wondering, yes, I write down my notes because I don't have time to memorize this. I got new music that just came out. In fact, we're going to plug the new song. Guess what? KPL is back. For all you guys that never wanted to hear me again, you get to hear me again. Forget you. And forget all your problems. KPL Come Up featuring Captain Seymour, who also is the engineer for my music. We have that coming out. It's actually already out. And it's on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, iTunes, Tidal. It's probably on SoundCloud. It's on everything. Check that out. I actually put the Spotify link on my Facebook page. You can check it right there. But I've been doing music, the podcast, which we just went on hiatus between season 2 and 3. And then, this movie review series does take some time. I just uploaded a new video yesterday. So here we go. First and foremost, this movie was a long time coming. It was originally supposed to be by Zack Snyder, and it was always going to be him, and then he had a tragedy happen. This was going to be part of the nitty-gritty, but I want to just talk about it real quick. His daughter actually took her own life in 2000, I believe 16. It was right when they were ending the filming of it, so about between 16 and 17. Unfortunately, she took her own life. Rest in peace, Autumn Snyder. It's really sad that happened and that she was in that kind of place. And it really put him in a dark place as well. So he ended up leaving, and they had Joss Whedon. If you don't know who that is, that's the guy that directed Avengers. I think Buffy the Vampire Slayer, maybe Angel as well, but definitely Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And then also one of my favorite TV series that never really got to be a series, Firefly. And also Serenity, the movie that was the follow-up to Firefly. Thank you, Fox, for killing our dreams. But anyway, he wasn't able to finish the film. Joss Whedon did it. People almost unanimously did not like the Joss Whedon film. And it shows. That movie was trash. I think it was like 40% on Rotten Tomatoes or less. And it was not good. And everyone had a bad time, and it was sad. And the dude tried to make way too many jokes for a movie that wasn't all that funny. So Zack Snyder ended up coming back because you guys, the fans, started making a huge unprecedented Twitter campaign to get this thing back. So release the Snyder Cut hashtag. That came back. That brought the movie back. It made the studio have pressured Zack Snyder, who came back and finished what he had started and made this 4-hour movie. It is by far the longest movie that he's ever done, any of the cast have done. It's the longest DC movie of all time, all that stuff. So first, let's go into the acting. I'm only going to name a couple of actors. There's too many people in this movie, and I don't got time to talk about them. And I'm not talking about Amber Heard, so if you came to hear about Amber Heard did a cool thing in the movie, I don't care. Screw you. Shout out to my man Johnny Depp, who probably is also guilty too. But, both of y'all, nah, I'm not talking about y'all. We don't have time for that drama. But Henry Cavill is Superman. He does a great job. He doesn't have the fake-ass mustache anymore that they hid with CGI. And he did a great job as Black Suit Superman, which is finally something we saw in live action. I had a good time. We also have Ezra Miller when he's not punching a female. He is the Flash, and he is also less funny in this movie, which actually worked out to his advantage. He actually gets a scene with Iris West, which is really cool, who's not played by the chick from the TV show that you guys seem to hate so much. And then we also have Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, officially Wonder Woman. This is the first time in all of the series, the DC Extended Universe, that we've called her Wonder Woman, which is kind of cool. She does a great job as always. God, she's beautiful and does a really good job actually in this movie, almost on par with how she did in the first Wonder Woman. She does great as the stoic yet heroic Diana with a little bit of sense of humor as well. Ray Fisher is Cyborg. This is the movie that really changed his life. So he ended up getting into a fight with Warner Brothers. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. I think he ended up getting cut from future movies. Hopefully that gets reversed. Hopefully that's not a thing that's ended up being, forever. But he had a problem with Joss Whedon. He said the set was very hostile. There was a lot of issues going on. And his scenes were almost all cut. This guy wasn't a huge part of the first movie in 2017. And in this movie, he's like the heart of the movie. And he has really cool powers. We get to get his whole backstory, including the tragedy with his mom, and some football highlights. So I really liked Ray Fisher in this, and I'm glad that he got his time to shine, because he certainly didn't have it when Joss Whedon was at the helm. We have Jason Momoa as Aquaman. It's Aquaman. He takes his shirt off, the ladies go, woo! And then he does cool stuff, and we go, woo! So it's a good time. We have Ben Affleck as Batman. And, it's Ben Affleck. Like, when he's not drinking, he's doing a really good job acting. Whoa, sorry I said that, man. But we also have Jeremy Irons as Alfred, probably the coolest Alfred you'll ever get. No offense to Michael Caine, who is a legendary actor. But Jeremy Irons does a great job. It's freaking Scar. Like, come on. Although he talks a little bit too much about tea in this, I got some British vibes. And then we have, I'm going to really screw this up, Ciarán Hinds, who was Mance Rayder in Game of Thrones, who is the king behind the wall before he gets burned to death. He is a really good actor in his own right, but he is actually Steppenwolf, which is hard to tell because they put like 55 pounds of CGI on him. And it actually looks good this time. The CGI looks great. He's all nice and shiny, a little too shiny. And he stops talking about mother boxes, and I don't have an Oedipus complex vibe coming from him this time. It really sounded like he wanted to get in bed with these mother boxes. It got weird. And then we have Jared Leto as an actual good Joker. God damn, that might be the most shocking thing that happened in this movie. This dude had maybe 5 minutes of scene time, and it was fantastic. Where was this when they tried to make him like the little Uzi Vert of Jokers? Like, this actually was good. Down to the nitty gritty, I already talked about Autumn Snyder, rest in peace. I already talked about the Joss Whedon drama and why the film has no Joss Whedon scenes, by the way. They cut all that from the movie. They said, we don't want to talk about you ever again. Maybe he'll come back for an Avengers movie, but DC's done with you. We also have the fact that the Joker and Batman scenes and some Flash scenes were actually shot while this pandemic's been happening. Stay safe, wear your mask. This whole Joker and Batman scene was shot separately because, pandemic, this was like March or May of 2020 when it really started hitting hard. So they shot both their scenes separate and then just cut it so that it looks like they're talking to each other, which is actually pretty easy if you think about it as either someone in film, someone that's good with camera work, or somebody that knows and loves movies. You know that doing the scenes and cut them together is not that difficult. So we had that going on. And then also the Ezra Miller scenes. He had I think 5 additional scenes that were added to this, where all of it was recorded with just him separately from all the other cast. And it wasn't even with him and the director. The director recorded all of this and actually he had it recorded, but he actually directed it from Zoom call. So that's kind of cool. All of that was done remotely, and they actually did a really good job. I couldn't tell you what scenes they were because they were all done really well. I'm going to go into a new segment, which is called What I Liked, What I Didn't Like with this one and the Godzilla movie, just because they're the newest that I can talk about. And I want to tell you what I liked and what I didn't. What I liked was the direction, the tonal shift, the fights. The fights were a lot better, and they were longer. Every single fight scene is longer, and they should have been. And Darkseid. they finally introduced Darkseid into the live action series, and he looks all right. I mean, it's CGI monster. I mean, they made Thanos look a lot more human in order to put him into an actual full-length movie, but he looks like what Thanos looked like in the Avengers cutscene. A big CGI guy, but you know what he's gonna do. Like, he's the badass of this film series. Darkseid is the Thanos, if not more of a monster than Thanos, and probably more of a threat. And he's literally a planet destroyer. So he's going to be kind of cool if they end up making it even more of a series, which just say release the Snyderverse or whatever the new hashtag is, and they might do it. What I didn't like, all right, I'm going to get some crap for this, but I didn't like the fact that it was a 4 hour and 2 minute movie. I had to watch this in a day, and it took me a little bit because I had to cut it, watch some NBA or NCAA games, go back to it. And it was a lot. Like, 4 hour movie is asking a lot. This is not the Lord of the Rings series or some epic. Like, this is a comic book movie. I shouldn't be sitting there for 4 hours getting swamp ass because I need to watch this movie. And then I also didn't like that every scene has to be epic. It's literally like everything they shot had to be like, ooh, look at this, we're better than you, Marvel. Ooh, look at this epic, the tension. And it'd be like 2 scenes where people are talking to each other. That doesn't need to be like that at all. And then some of the stuff at the very end ended up being cliffhangers. I mean, the cliffhangers are cool if there's actually more movies, but even Zack Snyder said, unless that the studio says otherwise, there's no plans for a second movie or for additional movies to come out for this. And if that's the case, then these cliffhangers are like the biggest striptease of all time. Then that one time the stripper didn't take my money. So the final verdict, which is the little wrap up that we're going to do real quick. This is a watch. It is a watch. I know I kind of said some mean shit at the end, but this is a watch. Especially for the DC fans that were mad at the Josh Whedon film series. So it's a watch. It's a 7.8 out of 10. I gave it a pretty high score. I was going to put a 7.5, but I'll give it a 7.8. It was a decent series. There's some flaws to it. It's a 4 hour movie. Like, it drags. It does drag at certain points. But the fight scenes are significantly better. If you just had this and the other movie to go off of, this would be like a 10 out of 10 compared to the other one. This is so much better. I liked it. It had flaws, but overall it was a fun movie. It was what it wanted to be. This is a fun time. I wouldn't really call it a family movie. It's an R-rated movie, guys. You got to remember that. The kids don't need to see heads flying and blood spraying everywhere. They're good. It's like 300 meets Batman. It's a rough movie sometimes, but it was fun. I had a good time. I think you guys should check it out. So check this out, and then also be sure to tune into that Godzilla review, which will be coming up next. And this is Watch or Skip. Tune in. And don't forget to like and subscribe.